part that made it help to go viral was that if you have a viral video, once that happens, you're constantly chasing that high, because when you're not natural in what you're selling, it comes through in the video. I was teaching myself along the way about hook, how to stop the scroll. I love being a student.
And just to really engage and spy TikTok's algorithms.
I don't script my TikTok shop videos. I just roll with it. Anyone can make $16,000 or more in a month.
All right. Welcome to TikTok Shop Affiliate Academy, a podcast that uncovers the story and strategy from the top 1% of TikTok Shop affiliates. Reminder, go ahead and join our free community at affiliateacademyhq.com. All right. I am your host, Ivan. We have a very, very special guest today, Jill. Hey, Jill. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Aloha.
Aloha. Yes. And for those, we had a pre-call, and actually Jill is calling in from Hawaii. So love it. First guest from Hawaii. How's the perfect weather over there? Is that a precursor?
The perfect weather is perfecting today. I've already been for my walk on the beach, and it is 74 degrees and sunny. And that was at 8 a.m. this morning. So we'll probably get up to around 80.
Love it. Love it. I didn't get a chance to dive into your content too deeply, but do you use like the beaches in background, or is it mostly like indoors is for your content?
Yeah, I do on my stories use like the beach walk in the morning, but because I'm a beauty creator, it doesn't really really cares.
Yeah, got it.
They're not coming to me for outdoor content.
Right. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So we like to start out with a little bit of background on yourself. Like, who is Jill? What is she about? What was she doing before TikTok?
Okay, so before TikTok, I've been a hairdresser and makeup artist for 30 years. Loved my job always. I then ended up on Maui owning a bridal hair and makeup business. So that's why I was familiar when you said where you got married, because I've been at every venue. So that was my job. My business partner and I kind of mid-COVID, because COVID lasted so long, decided to sell the business, and we sold it to one of the girls who works for us. And so then I kind of was in career limbo. I was going to kind of help my husband with his business. We had a food business on Maui, which ended up burning down in the Maui fires. So then I was kind of like, okay, where am I going? And I always had an interest in social media. And we did actually years ago own a social media marketing business. Cool. So I always was familiar and had kind of educated myself about social media. So I had this idea and I thought, well, I'll just get on TikTok. This is in 2023, January of 2023. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm going to start the new year and I'm going to start a TikTok and I'm going to give life advice to young girls. I'm 58 and I thought, okay, I've got some life experience here. That's what I'm going to do. And that kind of didn't really take off. But what did take off was me doing my makeup while I was giving the life advice.
Okay.
So I saw it kind of morph into people cared more about my makeup skills and advice. I just ran with that. Yeah,
for sure. So it sounds like you parlayed a lot of your experience and trying new things and seeing what works and just doubling down on that. So cool. A couple of things here. You had a business in Maui and hair and makeup and in the bridal space, and I was telling you that we actually got married in Maui as well. So you're familiar with the kind of locations that I was mentioning. So that's cool. And then I think one thing to note is that your content on TikTok was, what people were drawn to was your hair and makeup, right? Or your makeup. And that's maybe something you're more familiar with, right? And that maybe resonated subconsciously, right? In your tone of voice and everything. So, I love that, how it kind of blended in. So, okay. So you're making these videos on TikTok, you're getting a following. How did you stumble upon TikTok Shop? First videos.
When TikTok Shop first launched, which you'd have to remind me what month that was.
October of 23 is when it kind of launched the public, but then it was previous to that. It was like a couple months before
So about then, October, November of 23, I kind of became familiar that TikTok Shop was happening. And of course, I had already had some brand deals and so forth. And so
Okay.
then, brands started to reach out through TikTok Shop. And I was conflicted at first because not knowing like what that TikTok Shop was going to take off, or I
Right.
was afraid, honestly, that it was going to cheapen my brand because
Yeah.
the people that were reaching out in the beginning of TikTok Shop were things that weren't in my niche.
Yeah. It's like
Uh,
third parties. Like I remember back in the day when TikTok first launched, it was a bunch of, overseas sellers that kind of like the stigma was cheap products. Cheap
yes,
products, you're going to get scammed. That
yes.
thankfully that has gone away, that stigma. But like you said, back in the day, it wasn't necessarily a desirable platform that you wanted to promote stuff on. But okay, cool. So people reached out to you. You weren't exactly comfortable with the products that
Yeah, I
you're.
dipped my toe in the water a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, tried a couple different things again that weren't in my niche, but I thought, okay, if it's, another stream of income, I'll give it a go.
Right.
And so I dipped my toe in the water a little bit. And then as things started to progress and I saw bigger beauty brands
Mm,
coming to TikTok Shop and sending me PR, then I ran with it. I'm like,
okay.
okay, if the big beauty brands that people are familiar with and that I love, that's where I'm going to put my time and energy.
Got it. Okay. So you were making TikTok shop videos for kind of brands you didn't know. You saw these big brands come and approach you and you're like, okay, this is what I like. Let me get in the groove. So like how long from that initial video phase to your
When
first
I,
like eye-opening success? You're like, oh man, like this is TikTok is for me.
um,
Like, how'd you know to like, that was it? Like
my
talk me through that moment.
my first success that I had was with Rare Beauty, and that's been most of my success has been with Rare Beauty. And I would say I'd have to look back, but I'm going to say it was in the spring of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
from fall of 2023 when it started, took me till spring of 2024. And I had a video on a fragrance that did over 1 million. And
Ooh.
um it really it took off and I was like, okay, all right, let's roll.
Yeah. You
Now,
mean million views or a million GMV?
no, 1 million views, sorry.
Okay, believe me, I mean both are awesome. So okay,
Yeah.
so that's when you so like from fall of 23 to 24, spring of 24.
Mhm.
What did that time period look like? You're posting videos, you're posting shoppable videos, and what kind of viewership were you getting? Was it just kind of like, because it's hard, right? So when you're posting videos and you're not getting feedback, that's a tough thing to get past. So like walk me through that, and that'll help a lot of people
I
like
was
in this
doing
moment.
a little bit of sales,
Okay.
prior to the first viral
Boom.
video. I
Yeah.
was doing a little bit of sales. I mean, if I was making $40 a month,
Yeah.
it was not a big,
Okay.
it was nothing.
No. Yeah. Yeah. But it's proof of
Um,
concept. But
yeah.
it's
And
not enough.
I had to find out kind of what I was I was teaching myself along the way about
For sure.
her and how to stop the scroll. And
Yeah.
I love being a student of social media and learning what works.
Yeah.
But I also had to learn what worked with my style and what felt
Yeah.
natural to me. Because when you're not natural in what you're selling, it comes through in the video and people pick up on it. So if
Yeah.
you're selling something that you don't believe in or don't really care about, they get that. And
Yeah.
still, I still do that sometimes and I have to stop myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I talk
This
about this
isn't
all the
something
time.
that really resonates, then no, it's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
talk about like I think the first phase of an affiliate is like, well, all this free stuff, all these samples, like let me get as much as
Mhm.
possible. But what that happens is it disconnects the person, the affiliate from the product, and it kind of forces their hand and they're not super enthused about making the videos. But you get to that phase inevitably where you look past the product, the free products, and you really enjoy, the product, and that's when the authentic voice comes out about the product. And you use it all the time. So definitely a common occurrence. It's like, but if you really want to kind of have success, you really have to understand the product and attach yourself to it and be all the way behind it. So
100%. So the first product was a fragrance that I literally did love.
okay, cool.
And I I find that the more unscripted I am with
Yeah,
TikTok Shop, the more natural I come across, kind of the less editing I can do to the video,
yeah,
that's the videos that do well. The first viral video that I had, I
Mhm.
literally had no makeup on. I was in my bathrobe. I was just
Mm.
off the cuff. My hook was God, what was my hook? It was like, okay, listen. And it was
Yeah.
just stuff like that. It was just something. And
Can you tell me a
so
little bit of your strategy behind like unscripted? Like, what's your thought process on making it unscripted? Like, I don't want to lead the witness here, but like something I heard is like talking to your friend on FaceTime, like how you would talk to them if
a
you're still like,
thousand, a
okay,
thousand percent. That's what I do. That's who I am naturally as I'm speaking to you right now.
yeah, okay,
How I speak in my videos. Like I will try to remember to start my video as if we've already been on FaceTime
mm,
for a minute.
yeah, that's
An
common.
example, exactly what I'm doing right now. That's very natural to me. So I'd be like,
Yeah,
hey girl,
yeah,
listen, I got to tell you something.
yeah.
And,
It's a natural
and
reaction too, because you're on your phone. The viewers on their
yeah,
phones are, it's like they're on FaceTime with their girlfriend. So
yeah. So I pretend that I'm kind of on FaceTime and kind
yeah,
of opening it that way.
okay, yeah, I
My
love it.
second, you want me to go or you want to ask a
Strategy. No,
question?
keep on going, please.
Okay. My second super viral video, which was more recent, um, was a day where I was planning on filming boom, 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 one
Hmm.
after the other. And I do batch film. So I was batch filming. I had a horrible cold sore on my lip. So
Hmm.
again, video was not perfect, but
Yep.
the show must go on. And I was filming and I just did do you want to take your eye from this to this kind of a situation?
Right.
It was a long video, longer than most that go viral. It was like
Hmm.
over 2 minutes, which is
Hmm.
highly unusual for that something that long to go viral. But it was an instructional video on how to do makeup.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helped. But again, back to the not being perfect, the part that made it help to go viral was that there was a lot of comments on the cold sore that was on my
Hmm.
lip.
Yep. So we're gonna look at
And
that video in a little bit. But
yeah,
yeah, I can totally see that. It's like engagement, unexpected engagement is something I get from viral videos, like something in the
yeah,
background, or the your eye was droopy, or something like in their hair is like out of place,
yeah,
or a weird thing was like. So I was talking with an affiliate, and they do it on purpose. He actually
yes.
put like handcuffs in the background, or
Mhm.
like weird items in the background, and just to really engage and spike TikTok's algorithm. So you did this not purposefully, but
Not purposefully, but now I know.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So cool. I love that bit of info.
People love
Okay.
to comment uh,
Yeah.
on beauty things, especially when you do the tapping thing.
Yeah.
All beauty people kind of tap on their product.
Yeah.
That really annoys people, but it
Yeah.
annoys them to the point where they'll leave a comment.
Yeah.
Stop tapping. I'm scrolling because you were tapping. Well, okay, you're scrolling, but you still took the
Yeah. And
time
you
to
have to
do
comment, which
it.
boosts the algorithm a little bit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you irk
Mhm.
to a certain extent? Cool. Okay, so you have all these successes with TikTok Shop. You're getting viral hits. Inevitably, there's going to be a time where it's like, man, these viral hits aren't coming. Like, I'm making these videos, I'm not getting the views, I'm not getting. So walk me through those moments. Like, how do you get past those tough moments?
Too. Sometimes it's tough and it can go
Yeah.
on for, it can go on for 2 months and you're like, well,
Yeah.
I'm only getting like 3 and 400 views. Like, what am I
Hmm.
doing? My style isn't resonating. And I wish that there was a magic sauce to
Hmm.
say what it is, that how to make things go viral, that you just have to keep going
Hmm.
because you just never know. It, it's a job like
Hmm.
anything else. It's not always fun. It's not always easy. You still got to get up. You still got to go to the office. This
Yeah.
is my job. And so you just have to persevere and just
Yeah.
keep posting. I post religiously 3 to 5 times a day, and I have for
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Um, now I will say for me, because brand deals is still such a huge part of my income,
Yep.
I have to mix TikTok shop in with non-TikTok shop videos. So now I am not exclusively a TikTok shop person,
Hmm.
but I will say if I post 5 times a day, 2 of those videos will be TikTok shop. If I
Yeah.
post 3 times a day, still maybe 2 will be TikTok shop.
Right. But you always make sure to tackle that, checkbox of the day of TikTok shop. Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
It's important. Like maybe related, and I'm sure you do this as well, but like separating yourself from the numbers, right? And just putting in the work, putting the inputs that will eventually get you the outputs.
That's
Just
it.
keep on doing it, ignore the numbers and just keep on doing it.
Yeah, and if something went viral or something, maybe not even viral, but even if it got 10,000 views, that's
Mm-hmm.
good. Um, take that product and run with it.
Yep.
And even just keep posting that same product over
Yeah.
and over and over and over again, because
Yeah.
you think, oh, my viewers will get sick of it, but they're
Yeah.
not, viewers aren't seeing it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of
It's
the,
the
new.
retargeting of other people, etc.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts? I've had making videos on the same product, yes, but I've also had someone I've interviewed say when they have a viral video, they remake that exact viral video 100% of the like they. So do you do that as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's like not only do you change a little bit, but make the exact same video and see how that performs, right?
Exactly. Make the
Okay.
exact that, and I've done that. Or what I do is I record everything on a 10-minute timer. So if I'm going to do
Mhm.
kind of one product, I record. So let's say I end up with 7 minutes and I've
Yeah.
done an eye look for 7 minutes. I can break that 7 minutes into about 3 different videos. So it's
Right.
me talking about the same product, but I might use a different intro and
Yep.
then the same outro. It's all into the kind of the editing,
The
but
editing.
leaving it as unscripted as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. They're
Like,
kind
I
of
just
letting that flow.
rattle off.
Yeah. Okay. Very awesome. Okay. So up next, we're gonna take a look at your top video that you shared with me, and we'll view it for a little bit. So that video you mentioned earlier, it's 2 minutes
Mhm,
long about a eyeshadow,
mhm.
and then we'll watch it for a little bit, and then once we're finished, we will talk about it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let it play.
Your eyes from this old plain old 58-year-old looking hooded kind of crepey looking blah eye. So that I'm going to show you how. Okay, this is the new Rare Beauty Duo eyeshadow stick and mascara. That's all that's on my eye. Okay, here we go. All across the lash line and a little bit up. Okay, all across the lash line. And then right up here on your hooded part above the crease, one little line like that, very lightly. You can take an eyeshadow brush if you want. Okay. And we're just going to blend that back and forth, up and out at the end of your eyebrow right there. Okay. To the lash line where we put it and blend that across. And run it
Fast
like
forward.
this, back and forth under the eye and out and out. You're going to grab the mascara. You're going to do 2 coats of this black Rare Beauty mascara. Just okay. Little bit on the bottom. Doop doop. Boom. I'm out. 2 products on my eye. That's all it took. Have a great day. You can get one if you want. I linked it.
Love it. That was great. Some things I took away were the editing. You close it really caught my eye, right? When you did a close up of what you were working on, really
Mhm.
kept me re-engaged, if you will. But yeah, I always like to say, pause here and say, like, what did you feel constituted for a viral hit? Like, what about that video did you feel like, okay, this is why it did well?
Um, a, a couple of things, and not many of them really had to do with the actual product. I think
Hmm.
there's probably about a couple of things. One was, like I said before, the heinous cold sore.
Yep.
2 was that I said my age, and that seemed
Mm,
to resonate with people.
yeah,
There's a huge over 40, over 50 community now on TikTok who are
for
looking
sure.
for other creators that are their age. The other thing is that I said, this is all that's on my eye.
Mm, I caught that as well.
I had prepped my eye beforehand with concealer and powder. So a lot of, and still to this day, I'll probably answer 3 comments
Mm,
that say,
okay.
that's not all that was on your eye.
Yeah. So
So,
engagement. So like both engagement related, right?
and I did that, I didn't do that intentionally.
Yeah.
I meant this is the only eyeshadow that's on my eye.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again, it spurred the engagement. And
Your
so
trolls
now
will come
a,
out.
a takeaway for me is, okay,
You can
I
fib a
might
little
do
bit.
that again. Yeah.
Yeah. You can fib a little bit. Okay, cool. Another thing I noticed also in the beginning, you're a little self-deprecating where you're like this droopy eye or something. And it's just like you're kind of poking at yourself, and maybe that brings a little sympathy from the audience, or maybe I'm sure you get some comments on that, but
That
also
was
connecting.
huge
Yeah.
engagement on that. Don't talk negatively about yourself.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
so
guess
that's engagement too. There's a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
ingredients that went into that recipe.
Yeah, I think engagement, what I'm pulling from here is just like, how do you foster engagement through multiple avenues, right? Self-deprecating, talking about cold sore, unintentional, and then kind of also like unintentionally lying, but people calling out on you because people love to call out people on TikTok, right? And be a little bit more critical. So cool. Yeah, I definitely see that. Do you implement those kind of engagement strategies on all videos, or what percentage of videos would you say you do it? Is it kind of like random, or what do you think?
It's kind of random.
Yeah.
Depends on my mood, but I would say now that I know that that's what works,
Yep.
I'm probably doing it 80% of the time.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
The
Okay.
self-deprecating thing really gets engagement for some reason.
Yeah.
And do
Yeah.
I really think that about myself? No, I just was
Yeah.
talking again, like I would talk to my girlfriend if we were on the phone. My eye is droopy, my eye is wrinkly. Like that's
Right.
what I meant, but it resonated with people enough to spur a comment.
Yeah, they can definitely they could see themselves in you, or maybe they have those thoughts about themselves as well, and it's like, wait a minute, you spurred something that I don't normally hear. Like no one talks like that, right? So
Mhm.
that's something that brings it out. So all right, cool. You said like when you prepare for your videos, it's a lot of like impromptu, ad hoc, like you kind of look at the product. There's no like script preparation or anything like that, or nope. Okay, cool.
I don't really do a lot of script preparation for my TikTok shop videos. I will research the product and maybe write down a few bullet points that I want
Okay.
to touch on.
Yeah.
But I don't script my TikTok shop videos.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I
yeah,
just,
that's a lot as well.
I just roll with it, and
Yeah.
whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth, and then I splice it up in the editing.
Yeah. I would say that's maybe overlooked thing, because you are looking at the reviews and you are making bullet points. So that is kind of like an education, understanding of the product and knowing how to talk about it, guidelines. So a little bit of that. Are there any go-to hooks that you go with?
I'm constantly trying new ones, if I'm going to be honest. I am
Okay.
constantly trying new ones, seeing what works for other people. And I think now that in my research just this week, I think moving into 2025, more so than your verbal hook, what's working is your visual hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so is that moving the camera a little bit? Is that popping into? That's been a huge one for me. The popping into the
frame.
So I think visual hooks are playing more successfully than verbal hooks currently.
Yeah. I noticed that. Something we have in our community is like a library of hooks. What are the different, library of the different types, but also examples like, shaking the screen, walking in, etc. So something that we provide in our community as well. Okay, so we are approaching the rapid fire round, kind of just quick questions, answer the best that you can. What is your highest GMV generated in a month?
I think I'm at 103,000.
Ooh, and then when was that at?
That was October. October.
Nice. Okay. And then with the success of TikTok Shop and the cool things that it's provide, like what's the coolest thing that you kind of receive from the experience on TikTok Shop?
The money.
Yeah. Are you able to buy anything cool or treat yourself or spoil yourself?
I not really. I just stuck
No.
it in the savings account.
Good. Yeah. I mean, that's good. And kind of,
But
and
I
you
like
have that
having it
security.
there. I like just
Yeah.
knowing that there's that possibility. I mean, I'm $16,000 in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Like you
that's
you don't
crazy.
see that any other way, right? But I
No.
love it. Okay, I love it. What's one piece of advice you wish you had when you first started?
I wish that someone would have told me what was possible because
Hmm.
when I started in TikTok Shop, it was new.
Yep.
I started at the beginning, so I didn't know that what was going to be possible.
Yep.
Now people do know that it's possible. Anyone can do this.
I love
Anyone
that.
can make $16,000 or more in a month, and
Off one video.
that can help so many families.
Yeah, I love that. If you're listening, it's possible. Like you
Possible.
have, we in our community we try to give the best tips and tricks and hook strategies, etc. And we provide the the inspo and having samples of examples of videos that you can emulate and mimic. And Jill is an example of that. She didn't know it was possible before. She saw it happen herself, and letting you know that it is possible. So join our community, affiliateacademyhq.com, and then hopefully get on your way to becoming like a high selling affiliate like Jill. So cool. So what is your motivation? What keeps you going?
Financial stability.
Nice. Yeah. Having that bank account ready to go.
Yeah, I'm kind of the sole supporter of my family right now. So,
Yeah.
and I do that through being a content
Social.
creator.
I love it.
So, yeah, and it's kind of like if you have a viral video, once that happens, you're constantly chasing that high.
Yep.
So that's my motivation, because it's like, what's going to pop off? You just kind of never know what's going to resonate with people. And it's fun. It's super fun to be like,
yeah,
oh, I didn't, that the video that you think is going to go viral is never the video that
so just put them out there.
Put them out there.
Yeah, I love it. Have you been able to teach anybody? And then how did that go?
No, actually, this is my first opportunity that anybody has really asked. My daughter dipped her toe in the water of TikTok Shop a little bit, but I think it's a huge time commitment for people. So if you don't have, you have to know that it's going to take work.
Put in the work. Yeah. And that's one thing, in our community we want to do is have access to people like you who have that experience and can give those, bits of information that will get them on the, the right road to success. Okay, cool. You mentioned this a little bit, but in 2025, what's something you can improve on? How do you become a better affiliate? How does Jill become a better affiliate?
Not taking a lot of free samples that aren't in my niche.
I love that one. Yeah. Coming from the brand side, like that's an ongoing issue, right? People, affiliates kind of signing up and giving mediocre, product or quality back. And so the more you can get attached to a product and really believe in it and make videos of it, it's always going to be, it's not always going to be a success, but like that's a recipe for success, is like not just those flyby videos, just the ones you really attach to, right? Okay. Exactly. So less samples, more quality.
Yes. And I'm buying a lot of the things now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know they're doing the refundable sample thing now. That's kind of new. But I like, if I'm going to make a video about something, I've been buying this stuff because I feel like I'm more invested in it, and I'll make more videos than just taking someone's random free sample. Still, I still get, I get a lot of PR and I get a lot of samples, which is great. But if it's something that I really want, I buy it and then I make the video about it.
Yeah, you have to kind of separate the two, right? Do you want to make money through affiliate marketing and really make a video about something that you really like, or do you want free samples, right? Once you can delineate one side, then you kind of really get serious on what you make videos on, and kind of you treat your time more special, right?
Right.
Cool. All right. So yeah, that kind of concludes that. I guess one more question. You kind of answered a little bit, but 2025, what does the future hold for you? Assuming that TikTok's back and live and kicking, but
I know.
what is
Assuming that TikTok stays, and fingers crossed that it does. I'm just going to dig in and keep doing what I'm doing, and just continually trying to get better at the craft. And seeing what works with people, but keeping up the pace. And if not keeping up the pace, stepping up my pace and doing more videos. If TikTok is staying around, I am toying with the idea of starting a second account, which will just be a TikTok shop account, and then keeping like my branded account for my brand deals separate from my TikTok shop. So I'm waiting, fingers crossed, to see what happens with TikTok before I do that. But
yeah, I would suggest get started on that sooner or later. That's something I hear all the time about more accounts, creating more accounts, and multiple. If you have brand deals, that's a great way to separate them. But also using that new account for like more risque, not risque, but like
I know what you mean. Yeah,
just like content that you normally wouldn't do on your main channel, and maybe more supplements, or maybe trying out new things and posting 10 times a day versus being under catering to your audience and making less content. So I definitely would suggest that. And then in our community we have like a higher level affiliate group where we kind of talk about those advanced level strategies. Not only like do you know how to make a video, but like what are like the business decisions that you need to make? How do you maybe do lives, or how do you create more accounts? What's the benefit? So in our community we have all that as well. But yeah, cool. Awesome. But yeah, this was great. Thank you, Jill.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, more information on Jill in the show notes. Oh, you were gonna say something?
I just said it was super fun.
Oh, yes. I know a lot of people are gonna really, attached to your story. You had a lot of great gems in there on how to kind of make videos and just teach them, push them along the way, and inspiration. So that's definitely something that, I gain, or I want to get from these interviews. So appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
If you want more information on Jill, all her information is going to be on the show notes below. Don't forget affiliateacademyhq.com for more info, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you, everyone.